And finally, we have, what is it? Justice? The criminal, the thief, the corrupt former president of Argentina, Cristina Kirchner, this old hag of a monster that you see here, is finally found guilty of corruption and will go to, what, prison? Well, no, she's going to go to prison by that because of her age. She's going to go home. She's going to stay in one of her many, many mansions and enjoying the fruit of her labor, which is stealing. I remember many, many years ago, I was being interviewed by the BBC of London. This was in one of these third eye view. I don't know. There was something about economics and they were talking about Argentina. And I was being interviewed by the BBC. And in this interview, I was explaining what was happening in Argentina, what these people were all about. And I was explaining that they were criminals. They're criminals and they steal. And they're looting the country. And when I say those words, the guy running the interview, an older gentleman, very well mannered and whatnot, this guy from the BBC said, no, we can't say that because they haven't been. No, we can't say those things. And I remember feeling a little bit like, oh wow, I obviously don't know how things. And I always remember that feeling of I did something that was not according to the establishment. And what I realize, maybe now even more than ever, is that the establishment protects itself no matter what. That man had no link with Cristina Kirchner and the band of criminals and scumbags, but he was part of another establishment in another country. He was part of another criminal organization that is dedicated to looting and stealing and doing some of the more disgusting possible crimes you can think of. That's the BBC and the people that the BBC protects. So they protect one another without even knowing one another. This gentleman was, no, we can't say that they're criminals. They have. Why the fuck not? I'm willing to say that. I'm willing to deal with the consequences of saying that. Why is it that you don't have the balls? It's not even affecting you in any way. Because the establishment protects itself no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's UK and the BBC or the criminal establishment. She is the president. Doesn't matter if she's a criminal and she's looting and stealing and committing. Doesn't matter if it's visible. I don't need anyone to tell me what I can see with my plain eyes. I don't need anyone to tell me that this is an old piece of shit. I can see that with my eyes. I don't need anyone. Oh, yeah, here's the final report, sir. She is a criminal 80-year-old woman. I don't need that. I can see it myself. I don't need anyone telling me that she's a criminal and she's been stealing and looting the country for decades. But I was not allowed to say that, right? I mean, I did say it, but they just edited it. And no. Guys, that's how this works. That's how it's been working for a long time. It's this. It's the extortion. It's the Epstein files or Epstein files, whatever the hell you want to call it. The pressure from governments, from agencies, from intelligence. The pressure on presidents, the corruption of presidents, no matter where you are at. Folks, if you want to prepare for everything that I'm explaining and a lot more, the very challenging world in which we live in and what's coming, again, as always, I suggest you follow the channel, subscribe, and you get my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. More and more, the world is looking like this. We went through this in Argentina, and the rest of the world is going towards the same, but in a little bit of a slower motion. So yeah, you have the books in Amazon in the links below. Best-selling books in English, Spanish, and French, by the way, thanks to the French community interested in preparedness. Finally, she's being found guilty, and the sentence is finally like, yeah, she is actually a criminal. No shit. We knew that all along. We knew that from the moment in which, by a basic analysis of an expert in jewelry and she was wearing more gold. She had gold and jewels and diamonds while talking in a press conference. It was like $1 million worth of diamonds and gold on her body. Literally, as she spoke, she did not have the income to justify that. And we're not even talking about the mansions and everything that her family, son and daughter and no one ever worked a day in their lives, but they're all millionaires. Strange, right? What other, Joe Biden, same thing. How many of these people cannot even just, people that don't even, they're all poor. They're all poor people. They don't make any money. They don't pay anything. When the man comes knocking on, okay, sir, you have to pay your fair share this year. I didn't make any money this year. I'm fucking poor. Really? That's how it, yeah, that's how it fucking works. You pay more than these multi-billionaires every year. So not just, you know what would be justice? For her not to go to one of her mansions and enjoy what she's been stealing. Justice would be for her to spend the rest of her life in a cell like everyone else that committed these kind of crimes. I'm not asking for anything more. I don't want her to have inhumane punishment. I don't even want her to hang from... No, I don't want any of that. I want her to be locked like the criminal that she is and spend the rest of her days in prison. But even more important than that, I want the money that she stole to be taken away from her, which is what we will not see. We never see this. These people always keep the boot they stole. All of the loot they stole, they always keep it. That's what would be justice. And we won't see justice. We will never see that. She will go, and her entire family, the scum that was looting the country, fleecing, just stripping away, and the amount of people, the hundreds of thousands, the millions of people that were thrown into the most horrible poverty, thousands that died because of that poverty and that extreme neglect because of how much they stole. Those people will never see justice. But we will never see the money and everything she stole being taken away from her. That's something we'll never see.